How's it going, everybody? This is Dominic Minchella. I am the Kansas City Chiefs beat writer on SI and the host of the Kansas City Chiefs Insider Podcast. Once again, thank you guys so much for stopping in. I really do appreciate it, as always. So let's dive into the verdict of what came to be on Wednesday. The NFL had their league meeting once more, and the Tush push made popular and successful by the current reigning, defending Super Bowl champions Philadelphia Eagles is here to stay. Now, this has been the dilemma, quote unquote, for the whole season, off season. Since the victory in the Super Bowl, this has been a proposal to kind of get this move banned, citing things based off of player injuries, the ineffectiveness to stop the play, as well as defenders also potentially getting hurt, as we saw in the NFC Championship game multiple times. Washington Commander defenders kept jumping way before the whistle was blown, before the snap was off, and potentially could have awarded Philadelphia that touchdown, which was just a bizarre rule that we've never seen before. So much so that it got pushed into this debate. Now they fell two votes shy of getting this move banned. And as we know, the Kansas City Chiefs were for the ban. They wanted it gone. They were one of the teams of the 22 that said, yes, let's put it away. It's a touchy subject, so let's go into the things that this relates to for the Kansas City Chiefs. While the Chiefs don't necessarily do this type of play all the time, they play the Eagles once more this season in week 2. Now that it's legal to be kept in the game, it will most likely be in use against the Chiefs and every other opponent that the Eagles have on their schedule. That being said, though, there are ways around it. The big thing is that this move primarily gets used during, fourth and inches, anything with inches in this type of play, because all it is just you shove the tush of the quarterback. It's very hard to defend because there's not so much momentum that the defensive line can do against a whole combat pushing forward on a quarterback who just needs to inch his way over. That being said, though, Travis Kelce's brother, Jason Kelce, went in to discuss and give his plea along with the Philadelphia Eagles, and that must have been the kicker in keeping it around, claiming on New Heights that, there was that false narrative that he was getting hurt, and that's like a whole reason. He went there to kind of dismiss those claims, and he said in that podcast that he does with the Kansas City Chiefs tight end, Travis Kelce, that he doesn't care whether or not the ban happens or not. He just wanted to set it straight. It's like, hey, I've never been injured by this. And that was a big reason as to why the multiple teams wanted this gone. If there was an injury issue, so much so that at the league meetings way back at the beginning of the offseason, head coach of the Chiefs, Andy Reid, was asked his thoughts on the tush push ban, and here it is, and I quote, "Yeah, I don't know. You can argue it either way. I felt it's a successful play. If there's a problem with possible injury, you've got to look at it. So I would listen probably to the medical people on it, see what they have to think about it, the body mechanics, sorry about that. You don't want to go through something like Buffalo went through. If it's a neck situation, it's going to be a risk. I think you have to listen to the whole story." And then he further went down and said that if it's putting a position player in a bad position to get injured, that it should be removed. But obviously, that was just his thoughts on it, and it wasn't cumulative. There are ways that it was seen in the Super Bowl. It was used effectively against Kansas City. There are ways that you can defend it, and the big one is obviously don't let the Eagles' offense get to 4th and inches, 3rd and inches to where they have to use that play. But given the strength of the roster that Philadelphia has and the prolonged use of it, they've known how to master it. I think that they found just a play that can work regardless. While it's a messy looking play, uh, and I'm sure so many of you, the Chiefs kingdom, the NFL world, some are either on the fence about it, they feel one way, or they want it to stay. Regardless of how you feel about it, is here to stay. There are ways, though, that this can be combated. So much so, like I said, the stopping of them getting so close to the line. But it does raise a question. Say now that this play is kept in the league and it's legal. If there starts to become injury issues following down the line, would this be something that could come up again in conversation? I think so, because if that was the main concern, the play is just going to evolve more, so much so that the defenders are going to risk themselves in order to stop for the play for the love of the game. As you could see, in the NFC Championship game, he was diving over the defenders, escaping my mind currently, but he could have gotten hurt on that play. Uh, while it might be difficult to stop, I think that the Chiefs are gonna have so much of an impact in game 2 game 2, week 2 against the Eagles to where they're not even gonna hopefully not gonna face it. There are players that like it, players that don't like it. Obviously, that's how it's gonna go with any play. All in all, it's an effective play, and if they don't find any reason for it to be banned, even though it was 2 votes away, those 2 votes, man, that could have changed the whole shape of the NFL as we know it going into this season. It's just a I wanna know your guys' thoughts on it, I really do. So, with that being said, that's gonna conclude today's episode, and to sound off on all of the discussions, you can chat with me on X, as you can see on the ticker down below. You can follow me at Dom Minchella. I post and repost every single day. I will surely post this podcast on my socials just to make sure that we can spark some conversation. You can also follow us on our X page at KC Chiefs on SI. We're closing in on 300. We're getting closer and closer. I would really, really, really appreciate it if you guys got there. I think that's a huge milestone that us and the team, me and the team, will be able to have as we keep on inching closer and closer to the 2025 NFL campaign. As always, guys, Chiefs Kingdom, be kind to one another, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.